Someone really put a lot of effort into covering up rust instead of just repairing it on the 71 Jimmy.
When we went in to replace the little bit of rust that we did see, we cut it away and we uncovered the old metal that was partially cut away and then something just stuck in its place temporarily, zip screwed, tack welds. We uncovered a horde of issues that we weren't expecting. I think that Justin got kind of gypped in this situation. Somebody at some point just threw some sheet metal at it to kind of camouflage the real issue, because they were lucky enough to be able to put pieces like this, and no matter what you did, you couldn't see all the missing and rusted out components underneath of it.
Let me tell you the single best thing about this car, because you told me it had a lot of rust, right?
I did.
Look at that floor. I mean, I see some dirt on it, and I see a little surface rust, but this is one of the cleanest floors of any 70s GMC Jimmy probably in the world. This has to be in the top 5% of strong metal vehicles we've ever seen. The frame is solid, the body is solid. My X-ray vision definitely failed me in that initial inspection. I've actually decided to start using a screwdriver on all floor inspections. Doing an inspection on a floor is usually about looking at what's given to you face value. And if you see a little bit of rust and you see some old paint, you probably have what you think you have. Unfortunately, I've discovered there's a lot of really good sort of artists out there. And in one case, I discovered that someone had used sculpting foam to actually create what looked like floor pans. And in this case, someone had taken a fair amount of time to put a new floor pan on the bottom of a bad floor pan and all the structure above it. So from now on, nothing less than a screwdriver and a fair amount of prying is going to be acceptable for doing floor inspections on old vehicles. Even though we couldn't see the rotted hidden metal in the inspection, we see it now.
So we're replacing everything. The braces, what holds the floor up, what holds the A-pillar up, which is what holds the door up, what holds the rear B-pillar up. All the braces, the triangulated apparatuses that come from the factory in there, welded in, they were rusted away. The inner rocker panel was gone. The inner apron on the back side of the wheel well was gone. It was actually kind of amazing how much stuff was missing. Now, if it didn't have these big torque boxes that are responsible for keeping the truck solid, the truck would have been sagging. But these big 1/8-inch steel boxes kind of like kept everything in place. And if he had been in a car accident, the truck would have probably just broken in half. It's kind of scary.
Bad metal work is a whole lot like a broken arm that was set improperly. Once it's set improperly, that broken arm will fuse itself crooked or in whatever configuration it is. And a doctor is much better off if you just bring them a broken arm rather than bringing them an arm that was badly set, because a badly set arm has to be unbroken, some special bone work has to be done, and then everything set back in place. Well, doing metal work after somebody has done bad welding and hidden a bunch of things, it's a lot the same way. If they had just left it alone and let it be rusty and bad, it would have been a lot easier to fix than someone who's come in and done the welding, made it crooked, and now we have to try and sort of unscrew all of that bad work. And that's the kind of thing we face every day at Phantom Works. And I can honestly say that every day throws a different challenge at us, and we have to find a way to work through it and keep moving forward. Events on the farm forced me to bring a pig to work, and then I get a call from Andrew.
I mean, I don't know what to say. I'm sorry that happened, but I guess I'll hear from you at some point. You're not spoiling that pig, are you?
Of course I am.
Thanks.
That was Andrew. He won't be back for at least months, if not ever.
Why?
There was an accident, an accidental discharge of a .45 caliber weapon into his knee, and he won't be walking for a while.
He got shot?
Yep.
I'm glad you can see the humor in it. I don't think he's seeing the humor in it. So, guess what you've got to do besides stop spoiling that pig?
Well, that's not going to happen.
Stop spoiling the pig. Go find me another fabricator, okay?
You're just a baby.
At Phantom Works, you get to see a team of trades experts while they're working in their craft. But they've still got families and lives outside of these walls. And sometimes things happen that keep them from coming back to work. Maybe if I paid actors to pretend to work on cars, you'd see the same faces around the shop forever. With Andrew out of commission, it's more work for the rest of the team until we find a suitable replacement. And that is reality. Fortunately, Rob is making good progress in the Jimmy and picking up where Andrew left off. He's finished repairing the structural damage, and now it's on to the challenge of aligning those crooked doors.
It's kind of like a guessing game when you first start, but you don't really know everything that's bad until you cut it open and dig into it. On that Jimmy, you got a heavy end in the back and a heavy end in the front, and they kind of do this. So what happens is when those torque boxes ride out, the truck flexes, and that causes the doors to wedge into the quarter panels, so you can't get the doors open. Those are snug. What I'm about to do now, see that?
Yeah.
Wasn't like that before.
Rob is just getting nowhere fast trying to fit these doors, body panels and fenders all together.
This door needs to come up in this corner. Mm-hmm. The whole door, like, as you can see, we're not even close to the body line.
Mm-mm, not at all.
We'll talk to Dan about it and let him look and see what he thinks the next course of action is.
It looks like it's my turn to wrestle with the Jimmy door alignment.
Kind of was out of alignment. It's probably been bad for a while.
You want one variable to deal with, right? A car, when you change the shape of it, does not react in a predictable way. Lift up on the front. I just want to see what's moving. Building cars, there's no black magic. But I'll admit that there is one thing that is a little bit of voodoo and black magic, and that is aligning panels. Because there's that saying, each action has an equal and opposite reaction. In the world of aligning car panels, it should really be for every action, there is 7 different, completely unexpected reactions.
We started the quarter panels, and then we worked from there.
The door does, in fact, need to come forward about a 1/16. My goal is always to shoot for as close to a 3/16 perfect gap as possible, because if we're straight here, are we straight on the bottom?
Not at all.
That's right now the biggest problem we have. We've got to lift that rocker. We might actually have to move metal. We're gonna try something a little unorthodox.
Things that can go wrong with doing adjustments like that, you could potentially break the truck.
We're now perfectly even. I mean, that easily got us 1/16. Bring it up. Go steady and slow. I don't believe you can test it by gently nudging it. You really do need to do some fairly violent things. I'm not seeing any more movement. Now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna gently jump on the vehicle. Oh.